bloods are trying to get them M's. 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4, and just 5 years, 40 million more. You are now looking at the 40 million bar. I rate for Tef Channel on the 100 million man. R-O-C. That's where you wrong.
What's up, man?
Nothing much, man. Just hanging out, chilling, enjoying the time, finally getting back in the studio for a podcast.
I'm still trying to recover, dude.
Oh, man, it was awesome. Awesome shindig. You can't drink like that no more, man.
No. Since the last time we did this, I turned 40. Turned 40.
Turned up on your 40th birthday, too.
And, well, here's what happened. So, all right, let me just break this down for you. Is my birthday was on a Friday.
Right.
And so the wife took off work. She said, I'm going to leave the kids home from school. And I'm thinking, what in the world?
She flipped a coin to figure out if she still wanted to be with you.
Yeah, and so she said, I got a surprise for you. I said, all right, well, let's roll. So we get up that morning. I'm taking care of some business. She's like, we got to go. I'm like, where are we going? Just get in the truck. We got to go. All right, let's go.
A lot of situations that have started like that haven't ended well.
No, they haven't. No. And so, you know, being the trusting husband that I am, and we've been married for 19 years now, almost, I said, all right, whatever. So we hop in the truck. Well, she takes me out to the beach, and we renew our vows. And she'd lined up the whole thing, like preacher,
Kids.
just family. My boys met. Yeah, her mom went and got the boys after we left. They met us out there. So the whole nine. So that was on Friday on my birthday. And so once you do that, now it's on, right?
Right.
So then we go from there, start day drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Then we've got a meeting with a liquor distributor.
That was, Friday.
Friday, right. The same day.
That makes sense, because, and you can't not drink.
No.
When you went there with them, so.
So then we do that. So then I have to stop. I have to stop for a minute because I've got to come back into the studio and do my Friday night high school show until midnight, right?
Which I left at 11 o'clock to go drink.
Yeah, with the high school coach.
Yeah, with the high school coach.
Yeah, so do that till midnight. I almost came and met y'all, and I got in my truck and was like, no, tomorrow's going to be a long day.
Because the taco truck is in front of a liquor store.
Right. You told me that.
Yeah, so we were on it.
Which I'll be honest is the reason why I almost came and met y'all.
Oh, it makes sense. I mean, if it was like a taco truck in front of like, I don't know, JCPenney, it wouldn't work.
I wouldn't even thought about it. I see you enough.
Yeah, like, but I know where that taco, thus the taco truck is legit.
Okay.
But
so
the liquor makes it better.
So then I take a little break.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we get up Saturday and we have this shindig planned. Well, I mean, I'm not going to wait for the shindig to start drinking because it's football.
No, that'd be rude. So you got a pregame.
Right.
You got to treat this thing just like this is a game environment.
It is. So then I do that, and then we go to Wicked Barley, have an amazing turnout, great time. Drink way too much, which, by the way, dog, you were already into it when I got there.
Oh, man, I got there about right at halftime of the FSU game, and, man, I was drinking. One thing I learned is that you got to look at APV.
That's all you ask. You don't even ask anything about it.
But I found it out. But you think, like, all right, it's only 11% alcohol. It's not that much. But then when you drink about, 3 or 4 of them, you realize, because this ain't drinking Miller Lite. I mean, no knock to Miller Lite and Pop's favorite drink, and you guys' favorite drink, but this is some heavy duty shit.
Yeah.
Like you drink a couple of these, man, and you're just like, woo.
Well, that's what's funny is you go to a craft beer place with James, and he doesn't ask what it tastes like. He doesn't ask anything else. What's the alcohol content?
But you got to understand, I drink liquor.
Well,
I typically don't drink beer, so
most
I just
people,
need to know.
that's not the question they lead with, though.
Yeah, I don't care. Give me that one. Oh, it tastes like sweet potatoes. Great. That's a plus. I don't care. It has 11% alcohol.
So anyway, let me finish my story here so we can move on because I'm getting to a man code violation.
Okay.
That's where I'm getting with this. So then we do that. We've got, great crowd out there. We watch FSU lose on a 53-yard field goal. We watch Georgia lose on a Hail Mary. All is good for me. Those two things are great scenarios for me. Mm-hmm. I'm loving life. So then we leave there, shut that place down, and decide that we're going to go out with some friends and go out to a nightclub.
Where I had my birthday at.
Where you had your birthday. So we get there. If they got there before us, we get there, big VIP thing, the whole nine. And, bro, we were there. It closed at 2. We didn't leave till 3.
Nice.
Yeah, that type of deal.
Sports den style.
Yeah, by this point, dude, I mean, I'm just like, and Red Bull vodka, we talked about this off air. It just keeps you going.
Yeah, it gives you wings.
Okay, so I'm still recovering 2 days later, is the moral of the story. I'm 40 years old. But while I was there was a man code situation.
Okay, whoa, what's going on?
Okay. Nightclub, like really nice nightclub.
Yeah,
this is
like the reason why I couldn't go is because I had on my dressy Debos,
right,
my bedroom slippers, and I know they wouldn't let me get in with my bedroom slippers.
Right. So this is a really nice place. You're not going there. It's not it's not one of these $5 cover just anybody come on in type of deals.
It almost makes more sense to just go ahead and get VIP.
It does. Yeah, it does. And believe me, the guys I was with, we had it. The guys I was with. I don't have to worry about my wife going to the dance floor. Ain't nobody messing with that crew.
Yeah. The only time she was safer was probably my birthday.
Exactly.
When a ton of big black guys that are just like, listen, you try her if you want to.
It was the same thing. It was a ton of big black guys.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Ain't nobody.
No. I mean, the Hunt brothers and all that. It's, so anyway, I'm not even worried about that, but I'm standing up there in the VIP, where it's at, but just to set the scene, the one that we had was up on the stage and it was kind of blocked off so you could see everybody on the dance floor. Dude, there was this guy, two guys, and they would go over there. No, they wouldn't have any girls. They'd just start dancing. Just start. Now, they were obviously, they'd move in towards a girl, right, every now and then. Mm-hmm. But here's my question for you, because I'm not the club goer.
Right.
Okay. I started thinking about this. So, is there ever a scenario where, as a guy, you're supposed to go to a dance floor by yourself and dance? By
yourself?
Yes.
No.
Okay, that's the first question.
I don't really know. Again, let's get both questions out there. We'll try to see if we can get
by yourself.
Right, by yourself.
Going to a dance floor.
To a dance floor.
I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this one. Is there ever a scenario where you go to the dance floor with another guy?
No, no. Again, it's only one type of scenario, and again, it's a light skin situation.
Okay.
There's these movies, Step It Up or Dance, whatever. The movies that pretty much make it seem like in urban America there are people dancing their way out of the hood.
It does seem like that now.
I have no idea where these movies came from. Look what it did for Nick Cannon. Yeah, but Nick Cannon, I don't understand it. Like I went back. I had to go back because these movies came out when I was in college. Mm-hmm. I was starting to get further removed from that lifestyle.
Thought maybe you were doing something.
I thought I was like, man, are there dance studios in my neighborhood?
I didn't get the memo.
I didn't get the memo. I thought Biggie may have a wicked jump shot or you're slaying crack rock. That's what I'm thinking happened. But apparently, there's dudes pop locking themselves out of the hood now. And then there is in the HBCU scene, there are men who do they're almost like a fraternity.
Yeah,
they do their dancing. So if it was like a choreographed thing, it's kind of cool. But if it's just two dudes going over there doing a single ladies dance, that kind of throws me off.
That's what it was, and I'm glad you said that because it wasn't one of these things where homeboys had something to show. Right, they didn't work something out at the house in the garage and come out there and show it off.
So no kid and play style stuff.
No, nothing like that.
Oh yeah, that's weird. No. Now this is what we do. Now we'll be posted up in VIP. Mm-hmm. Chill. Make sure the ladies are all right. They got their drinks. Make sure everybody's taken care of. Want the person to give the head nod, and then we'll get up.
Right,
and we'll stroll. We'll just walk around the perimeter just to see what's going on. Maybe stand outside a little bit for something. Come back in and just make our rounds, just to kind of see,
the
scout. And we ain't doing nothing, but it's remnants of back in the day when we used to hunt.
Right.
So you still just do it. You just go around. You ain't trying to bring
Well, it's the reason why you hunt from a tree stand and not.
Oh yeah. That's why you want the VIP.
That's my point. Is you can't. That's a good way to get knocked out if you just start going up.
Which is part of the reason why you never see me go do that by myself.
Okay.
I always have
a wingman,
multiple, because
a bodyguard.
If it's gonna go down, it's gonna be. Put it like this: it better be 4 bonds posted. If it's going down.
I got you.
If it's just one, it's going to be some interest. It better be a ratchet.
Well, maybe I should tell you this part too. Is these were two guys that I think they were there just those two. Like they weren't part of a group. They were there on the prowl. Obviously, okay, whatever, fine. Nightclub. That's what that goes down. I get it. I just feel like maybe I almost. You know what I wanted to do? I almost wanted to go. Come here. Come here, young buck.
Ask them, investigate.
And explain to them, look, you're going to have, right up there is a really nice bar. with a lot of really hot girls.
That's probably the best place.
You're going to have more success up there than down here looking a fool doing the Will Smith dance.
Was Q45 DJing?
No.
Nah, okay, it wasn't even that.
No. I got a birthday shout out, though.
It was cool, but it wasn't.
And nobody even told him.
Yeah. Well, that's because you're Denny _Thompson. People know your name carries weight in the city now.
Sports Den got a shout out.
Just in case people didn't realize this.
No,
this is straight talk, no chaser. We gave a little bit of straight talk, but that's your man code violation. I've been building up on mine.
Is it a man code violation? Yes, I'm trying to figure out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
You do not go and you don't be booty bumping with your homeboy.
That's a great way to put it.
That's not cool.
Okay.
I mean, let me time out. If that's your preference, that's your thing.
Well,
that's your
that's a
lifestyle.
given.
That's different than a man code.
These guys were on the prowl.
But if you're
for a
on the
girl.
prowl and you're supposed to be a heterosexual male, you shouldn't be booty bumping with your homeboy, with your partner. That's not a
okay.
That's definitely a man law violation.
Okay.
My thing is I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna bring us back to sports. And I got to do it. I didn't want to.
What are you doing?
I was in denial. I will admit.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I was in denial. It's kind of like when you got a brother. Actually, I had a guy brother that was like that, and we tried to deny it, and then it just there was just no more denying.
Then you just started looking stupid.
Then you started looking stupid. So then you're just like, all right, now you got to accept it.
Okay.
I got to call Jalen out.
Oh dear.
And this got nothing to do. Again, you know me, OBJ, any of those ballers can ball. Who's splitting you into or who you splitting into doesn't matter about if you can ball.
The rest of the country may not know about Jalen Ramsey.
Okay, Jalen Ramsey played at Florida State, my alma mater. Also played at plays for the Jacksonville Jaguars
and is
an absolute
baller.
All the physical attributes that you want in a corner. He's tall, long, runs fast, jumps high, physical, hits hard. The problem is everything is physically developed in him that looks like a man that you would actually probably be envious of, except for his voice. His voice is still in prepubescent.
There you go.
Adolescent mode. I don't even know if I probably put too many in there.
Is it the voice or
but
is
it's also the mannerisms.
Hold on. Let's do this. So people know. Let's play the interview.
All right.
Let's do that, and then we'll come back.
Nobody worried about him. Come to me, you know what I'm saying, on some disrespectful stuff. You know what I'm saying? The game over with. You still mad because I was locking you up? All right, go sleep on that. I ain't trying to hear that after the game.
So you vowed that he wouldn't get in your head. But you managed to get in his head, you think?
What you think? You tell me. You tell me. Anytime I lined up on him. Y'all go watch that. Y'all tell me who got in who head. He came up to me after the game. You feel me? Y'all tell me who got in who head. You're an old man acting like that.
All right, I think you get the point.
Yeah, just to add some context to this. Now, this is how I grew up. My grandmother used to talk about it like this. She used to tell me, watch for those dudes who taste their words and have a delicious conversation. Yeah, she's like, if they tasting their words, it's probably something
Grandma
else that
told
they've been
you this?
tasting. Oh, this now Isla Mae got some isms.
Okay.
Now she's one of the people who got me into alcohol, but she's just like she doesn't trust a man who tastes his words. Second, to put context in this, because once we get the video part of this, we'll be able to actually put the whole YouTube clip in there. But my man is giving you the neck movement, the eye roll, the
he's got some
the
sass.
sway. He is sassy.
Yeah.
And my thing is just as a man, again, I wasn't raised by a male. I mean, I know my dad, but he wasn't really in the picture like that. Mm-hmm. But you don't go around seeing me switching my hips and tasting my words and doing some different things. He's raised as a man. You would think he ain't got no positive male role model in his life. But he was raised with his father. And this is a premier cornerback. Defensive guys are supposed to be the toughest of the tough.
Premier now. When we say premier for the rest of the country, just go ahead and mark it down.
Like he's going to be an all-pro.
9-time all-pro. He is the next dude.
And now what makes it funnier is he was going against probably the most alpha of the alpha males at the time.
Straight OG.
Yeah. And Steve Smith got bodies. He's not, he may have helped Ray Caruth.
Easy now.
Okay, maybe not so much. But Ray Caruth, if Ray Caruth was the original OG gangster, IDGAF, I don't give a F.
Yeah.
Steve Smith is not like killing his wife, but he's not far away from him.
He's that dude that know's not just talk.
Yeah. Okay, perfect example. There's some guys that I've been encountered in my life that when they say like it's all fun and games until it ain't funny no more. or they're like, hey, stop, we about to throw hands.
Yeah.
When they say we're gonna throw hands, it ain't what do they mean by that?
No.
Let me break it down. What's the philosophy? What are his innermost thoughts? Nah, bro. When I say we throwing hands, it's 3:00 after school. Let's go meet. You best be there.
Yeah,
if you're
yeah,
not there, I'm gonna go find you.
If you don't want to, you just better shut up right then.
Like one of the dudes I'm talking about, like when I was growing up, like met the dude at his house, knocked him out, and then brought him inside the house. Into his
nice,
parents'
Abby.
house. It's very polite. 'Cause
It
nobody
was.
wants to get laid out on their doorstep. But bottom line is, so when you got sassy, meeting goon, it just never. But then again, you got the way things are going on in life. You never know. There's rappers who are going around talking about they're going to rape people.
You know,
They're going to beat dudes up and rape them. So that's not
you
cool.
know what? You know what's funny about that thing? Then we'll get off this whole man code thing. Is nobody wanted to say it like here in Jacksonville because we don't
not
have
at
a
all.
whole lot of hope here in Jacksonville, right? I mean,
Yeah.
let's be honest. Our
Right.
team sucks. You know, no expect. He is kind of like our hope.
Right.
And so everybody saw the interview, and we work in sports radio. It took a minute, dude. It took a minute, and I don't know who the first dude to say it in the media was, but once they did, everybody else came out and said, yeah, you're right. But nobody really wanted to go there, but now it's out there.
My boy Brian Johnson, who went to LSU, King of Sass, OBJ, went there. He kind of called me out. He was just like, I called it Drake. Because, you know, I classify things in 3 different ways, gay, straight, or Drake. And he was like, nah, bro. And I said OBJ for radio purposes. And he was like, nah, bro, that's OBJ all day. You just being in denial. And then I was talking to my brother-in-law, and I was trying to show him, like, hey, man, did you see this? And ha. And then they showed his walk-in, because, you know, they got the walk-in.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah,
I
you're
mean,
right.
he's straight runway model, Vogue, hands to the side. I'm just swaying, switching. I'm
Bro,
like,
I mean, let's just be real. It was borderline cheerleader in longest yard.
I mean, it's like this. Every city's got their places, right?
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was kicking. If we went to go find him in Riverside. You know, San Francisco's got their places.
Like San Francisco.
The entire city. I don't know what it is in New York. Miami is Coral Gables and South Beach.
See?
There's some weirdos in Coral Gables. I'm not saying the University of Miami is, but I'm saying they had a calendar that was very Manco violation-ish.
It was.
So, but that's
all right,
let's
move on just a little bit. What's your feelings on Des Bryant?
I mean, Des Bryant has all the talent in the world, but just can't get off the field. I mean, just can't get off the injury reserve last couple of years.
Okay, here's the thing: is Des messed up last week. He got hurt.
Yeah, he messed his knee up and then didn't do the MRI, right?
Just no-showed it for a couple days.
Because he was afraid of what the MRI was.
So he says. Yeah, so he says. Well, then a source comes out and basically says, look, it's not surprising. Dude's, been tardy or missed 20 to 40 meetings in his career. Right?
Right.
So then Des hears that. I don't know if you've heard this whole story yet. Mm-hmm. And so Des then comes back and says, I want to know who said that. Like, that ain't true. I want to know who said that. Can I tell you who said it?
Who?
Jerry freaking Jones.
Oh.
Jerry then
Boss.
said.
Boss said.
Jerry Jones says, on the fence, the number of reported meetings by Bryant was not accurate, though he offered that since the beginning of time, meetings and timeliness of his meetings have been his number one issue. Des, bro, you can't go around calling people liars if they ain't lying.
Yeah, they got a way to track that. So I mean, it's called fines, and he's been a prima donna since he got there. He's had issues from the Deion Sanders stuff to the scouts asking him questions about his mom hooking, and
that's out of bounds. By
which
the way.
was out of bounds.
That's out
terrible
of bounds.
thing. Like
yeah.
you probably would catch.
We wouldn't even do that.
You'd probably catch these hands if you said something like that to me. But I just Des Bryant is the type of guy that you know what he has the ability to do. He has Hall of Fame ability, but he has the body that just can't hold up. I don't know if it's him or if it's just something they do in Dallas. Because think about Romo the last couple of years.
Yeah, but Romo's like 64.
Yeah, true.
I mean, I get Romo. He needs to retire. We've talked about that on this podcast before. He needs to be done. But here's the crazy thing is I just don't feel like okay, you can always be on time to something. All right? I mean, that's not an ability thing.
Right.
Right? So, do you realize that he's had to hire a driver to improve his attendance?
Well, I mean, I think that's efficiency.
It's stupidity.
No, I mean,
if you want to hire a driver, he ain't checking emails on the way into Cowboys.
He's creating
facility.
jobs.
I mean, come on, dude. I get it. Like, I get it if you're, and I'm not saying it because it's political. If you're Donald Trump and you run a bunch of companies and you want to be efficient, answer emails or cuss out reporters on Twitter, then hire your driver. I get it. That's fine.
Well, Donald Trump's probably got an assistant reading his emails.
You know what I'm saying.
No, I understand.
Dez
Busy
doesn't
people
need that. He just don't need it. But they said at least 7 or 8 times this year alone, even with the driver, he's late.
That's just a guy who doesn't like meetings. Meetings are boring. Let me tell you about NFL.
Oh, I hate meetings. I hate meetings.
NFL has meetings to help get you prepped for the meeting. Like there's meetings that only a certain, like a special teams meeting for the offensive line for field goal, and then they prep, and then you have punt special teams meeting. Then you have the entire special teams meeting. Then you have offensive seg meeting. It's just you're out. You meet it all out.
I don't even like when we have to do meetings with our sponsors.
Those are cool because it typically involves eating cigars or alcohol.
So let's just do that. Like I don't.
But that's what we're really.
Can
doing.
I be
We
honest
just
with
call
you though?
it a
Like
meeting.
I don't even know why we. At this point, why do we have to meet?
Well, they already know what they want.
They already know what we do.
They know what we do. We're really just going to just kind of a celebration. It's a pre-celebration before we celebrate.
So I'm looking at it wrong.
Yeah, you're looking at this entirely wrong.
So it's not really a meeting.
I have real meetings with my other job, and I absolutely hate them because typically they're a waste of time.
Okay.
It's a guy going around talking in circles that had no prep, and then we're all sitting around looking at, all right, like, what do you want us to do?
I feel like we, as the Sports Den and Straight Talk No Chaser, which, by the way, is about to get a sponsor.
Right.
I feel like we should try something out. We should try a no meeting policy.
Like what we do now?
I'm talking about with everything.
Well, if I can get away with it.
Why can't we get away with it?
Well, what are you talking about for the Sports Den?
No,
we
yeah.
don't meet.
No, I mean at all. Like if we have somebody who's wanting to meet with us to become a partner,
Mm-hmm.
there is no meeting. There is no meeting. There is just a gathering. We're going to pick a spot, and if we talk business, fine, but more than likely we're not even going to talk business. So we're just going to hang out.
So you just want to change the name of it. We're not, just say, hey, we're hanging out here.
I don't want a meeting during the day
blah.
at all. Not before 3 o'clock.
You don't want to eat lunch?
Not with anybody. I hate eating lunch with people.
You just hate people, man.
I hate eating meals with people. It drives me insane.
What we should just start doing is telling them, listen, here's what we got for you. Flip a coin. Heads, you got it.
That's not a bad idea.
Heads, you're going to sign up for this package. Tails, you're gonna
Without
sign up.
meeting.
Without meeting. Tails.
We may have to meet.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
And then right now, a lot of the stuff is just really just going and making sure our sponsors see our face. So it's all good.
So you're not with me on this?
I don't really care. Whatever gets the dough.
I just don't want to meet anymore.
Okay.
I'm tired of meetings.
You know what I'm tired of?
What?
I'm tired of the NCAA.
What they do now?
Nothing really. It's just I've been stewing on this for a couple weeks.
Are you still mad about the loss?
Oh, yeah, but that doesn't have anything to do with the
Are you
with
mad
why
that
I'm
y'all
at
are going to get the
NCAA.
crap kicked out of you this week against Miami?
I definitely am not in fear of Miami, but
You should be.
no. But there's a team but Miami is a part of this.
Okay, go ahead.
So is Ohio State and numerous other colleges. Like, I don't understand what the purpose of, and maybe you could give me some insight. This should be a good topic. Might be a lightning rod one. Is why are HBCUs in the NCAA? It serves absolutely no purpose for them.
I don't have an answer for that because you're going to be very honest.
Yeah.
I didn't know they weren't.
Oh wow, that's a good point. Yeah, they're all, most of them are 1AA or D2.
Okay, so why?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't understand why. Like they get their ass whooped every year by these schools that pay them some, like the money's gone down significantly.
Well, I'm going to assume it's all money generated to answer your question.
But most of them don't use. Most of the universities don't use that money toward building up their athletic departments. Like, think about it like this. FAMU's played this big money game against Miami almost every year since I can remember. So, like, since I was like 5.
Okay.
They've played Miami, and it's always been, I think this year might have been the least amount of money where it was like $500,000. But there were times when Miami was paying them like $1 million.
Yep, and
So-
FAMU is known for busting the kids back and forth, not flying them to save as
not
much of the money
flying
as they
them.
can.
The facilities are raggedy for football. They have some state-of-the-art facilities.
Hey, before you go any further, though, I need to let you in on something. You realize 70% of the white people listening to this have no idea what an HBCU is.
Historically black college, and before you go into it, yes, there is a name. Predominantly white institutions, PWIs. That's what people.
Okay,
call
no.
it.
I'm
saying,
letting you know.
It's a historically black college, but it's I don't like the NCAA in general. Period. But I definitely don't like it for HBCU because they're so far behind.
So what's your
no way they'll
solution, though?
Leave.
And go where?
Create your own conference.
Why? You and play each other?
Yeah.
And nobody makes any money?
But let's put it like this. I hear what you're thinking. If they try to compete directly with the NCAA football, they'll lose.
Uh-huh.
But what if you did this? You think outside the box. You stepped outside. What is the one thing that nobody's offering top 250 recruits?
Money.
That I always talk money. The only reason you can't offer them money is
you don't
because you're
have
in the
money.
NCAA.
And you don't have money to offer.
Well, yes and no. They have big ticket. Almost every one of those HBCUs have big ticket boosters. The money just doesn't get allotted the right way, and there's no quote unquote business plan in place to be able to make it seem profitable. Heck, you can get players, NBA, NFL, whatever. You can get players like that to actually back a model for at least one player. But hear me out with it. You go in, you offer them something that they can't get. Okay, the facilities aren't the greatest in the world, but you can get around that if you know that you're getting paid. You can go seek something else out to go get your workouts. The only thing the NFL says and the NBA says that you have NFL 3 years removed from your high school senior season and 1 year for the NBA or 19, something like that.
It's 3 years for baseball and football.
Well, yeah, if you go to college.
Yep.
If you go to college, but JUCO,
you get around that with baseball.
You would try to see if you can get the same rules as JUCO. So you still offer guys the opportunity to play on some level. When I'm looking at Pittsburgh actually has about 5 or 6 HBCU players on their roster, and they're doing pretty good. So I'm thinking about that. What if you play from a January to March type time slot? The only time you really, really, truly be competing is obviously with the bowls. But people, what is the one thing all of our callers and all of our people are saying they miss? Pretty much from February
football,
on.
yeah.
It's football. So you provide an opportunity to see football almost year round. These guys miss nothing. And you can go take transfers. You still can offer them a degree just like anybody else, but you're giving yourself an advantage.
But can I ask you this?
Anywhere else? Yeah.
If you're offering them money, then why you got to change your season? Why not just offer money and get the best players?
No, I only say that because to get the what makes the NCAA from a Division I standpoint, and even the Division I AA, which most of them are in, they don't have automatic bids to the tournament. The MEAC doesn't have an automatic bid. The SWAC doesn't have an automatic bid.
You're
so that's how you make money. That's what I'm saying.
But you're talking about this knowing why they will never leave the NCAA.
No, I don't.
It's because of those $500,000, $1 million games that they're getting. Tennessee State with Vanderbilt,
I would want to know
FAMU, Bethune, all them.
I would want to know the real rules because, like for example, Tuskegee, and there was another Division I D2 school,
the Fighting Drayton Florences
that played EWC, which is an NAIA school. They're not a member of the NCAA, so apparently there's a rule where you can play somebody who's not a member of institution in the NCAA.
I promise you, the NCAA wouldn't let that happen if you're paying your players.
Well,
promise
they
you.
wouldn't. All right, so you split. Let's $500,000. If $500,000 is the number, you can go get you can go negotiate a television contract and get that. And before we say there aren't that many, no, you're right. There isn't an ESPN that would pick it up yet. But BET, Revolt, it's like 2 or 3 other black-owned networks that are nationally syndicated that look for things like that. BET used to have a sports division. Imagine if you had HBCUs on the BET, and you had about, let's just say 10 schools, just pull it out my behind. 10 schools, $10 million deal. That's $1 million a piece. You just replace the revenue, and the players don't get killed.
Yeah, that's the problem I have with it.
Because the injuries, because when Southern played Georgia, I mean, thank God for Georgia fans for pitching in and helping that young man. But my man was paralyzed.
Yep.
There's no way that they can compete.
No, and I'm with you. I have a problem with that. And you know what? It is what it is. I don't have a problem with Appalachian State and all those guys doing it because you know where that money goes? Back into the football program. Yeah. And they've grown their programs. And so you go in almost like, okay, I'm going to come here 15, 18, 20 years from now with my kid, and I can say that I contributed to that.
Now, I will say this, too. There are HBCUs that do it differently. They're not like Alabama State, Prairie View A&M, Tennessee State, and, man, it's another one.
I know
Alcorn,
Tennessee State pretty well because I've got a kid there. They got a good program.
Alcorn, they've all invested in athletics.
Steve McNair.
They have multi-million-dollar athletic facilities that they're either have now or in the process of building. They're investing in their gear and things that make it to where they can come in and get a 3-star. They can snag a 3-star. That's their mid-major 5-star stage.
Yeah, 3-star that won't stay close to home.
Yeah, they can go get one of those.
And HBCUs have big family ties for the most. Like here's all you need to know about HBCUs is look at where Grambling Southern has gone. That game, I'm from Louisiana. James, that game used to be the equivalent of the Florida-Georgia game here in Jacksonville.
It's huge.
It used to be massive. Now, it's barely anything.
Well, I mean, I don't know, but like even no matter how
it ain't what it used to be.
Even FAMU can be defeated and BCU can be defeated, but the weekend before Thanksgiving, it's going to be packed in Orlando because of that game. There are still some. They call it the classics.
Tennessee State traveled to Bethune a couple weeks ago.
I mean, they do it differently. I just look at things from a fiscal perspective and from an athlete perspective. Like, I would have went to FAM if they would have offered me money. I mean, if that were on the table. Heck, I would have went to Miami if Shapiro would have just offered me a check. But for whatever reason, I didn't get a chance to get on that boat.
So literally.
Yeah.
So essentially the thought is break off, get your own TV contract. You're right, ESPN wouldn't touch it, not because they're black, but because they wouldn't want to mess with the NCAA.
And they wouldn't. It's an unknown. You don't know what the quality.
Well, they're not going to want to mess up the relationship with the NCAA.
Well, it wouldn't. It'd be no different than the Arena Football. Like they have an Arena Football League contract. They have other. They have Canada.
I think it's much different.
They have some Canada stuff. Here's what the NCAA,
because you're going to be forcing the NCAA's hand.
All right, NCAA, you take football away from ESPN, and you do it like you did basketball. But okay, great, bravo. Can't nobody cover it the way ESPN is creating entire networks for you.
Yeah.
So, but what I think is if you do that, you actually create a better product because more talented players will be willing to transfer over, or you may be able to get more guys taking that risk because they know that they can go. Now, granted, you wouldn't be able to go from an HBCU to an NCAA program because you got paid, but you can get a transfer from a NCAA institution into there. So think about all the guys who get in trouble.
Yeah.
Instead of going JUCO, you can go kid we know, DeAndre.
Yep.
Imagine DeAndre, and then you can go.
And they're going to find that kid in the NFL no matter where he's at.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's not a bad. Can I hit you with something else?
Yeah.
Away from that, what's your view on? We're in political season.
Okay.
On athletes endorsing politicians. LeBron James, this is where I'm coming from. LeBron James said he and his family are supporting Hillary Clinton. That's safe.
That's safe.
What is the advantage to endorsing any type of political affiliation if you're an athlete?
There really isn't any, but black athletes more than anybody else feel like they have to be put in that corner.
Why?
Because all right. So I'll preface this. We live there's people who say, why can't we just all be Americans? And that's just so un-American to just say that because our country wasn't founded that way. We were founded on hyphens. That's just the reality of the situation. Out of many, we are one. That's on our dollar and everything else. But where a black athlete comes,
I would disagree with you on that, but go ahead.
From a black athlete's perspective, you're like, okay, I got this money. I've heard D.L. Hughley was the first person I ever heard say this. I got all this money, man. I don't want to get taxed. And historically, you look at it and they say Democrats do the most taxing. But at the same time, you want to help people, and you are black. But you also take stances like, all right, I want to be on the fence. You're not. I hate to say it, on the fence is a terrible way to say it, but I'm gonna be all lives matter and not just say Black Lives Matter. I'm gonna say
I'm gonna be neutral.
I'm gonna be neutral.
I'm gonna be neutral on everything.
Neutral, but I can't be so neutral that I can't be overly black to where I lose endorsements, but I can't be overly
not black
because 70% of the consumers are black,
especially in basketball.
Yeah, especially in basketball. So yeah, Nike might drop me, but Adidas will pick me up because they know that I'm going to get everybody that bought those LeBrons are going to come over to Adidas. So it's kind of a catch-22. Or then some people will just do it like Tom Brady, which I just think Tom Brady just said, I'm endorsing Trump just to be Tom Brady.
Yeah, here's where I'm going with this. Is like I pictured this, or I put this in a whole different area than the Colin Kaepernick thing. Colin Kaepernick is standing up for what he feels is an injustice. And that's his good for him. I respect him for that. This is a personal decision that, frankly, I'm tired of seeing all of my friends and family on Facebook post about it. I don't care who they're voting for. Their vote has no bearing on who I'm going to vote for.
I'm gonna tell you something funny, and I don't want us to get the soundbite for this, but it's one of my favorite comedy specials is Dave Chappelle Killing Him Softly. And Dave Chappelle went back, man, what happened to the days when you used to couldn't, like a white guy would never talk to you about who he's voting for. He said, hey, who you voting for? I was like, you're lying. He's like, I knew it. It's a cultural thing. So I used to went up to my white buddy and say, hey, man, who you going to vote for in the politics? Hey, Dave, that's my personal decision. Who I vote for. I don't need you getting all up in my business. Well, so back to what I was talking about. So I was banging my wife, and, she was doing this. But, yeah that's all good. Yeah. That's all good. But who are you voting? Hey, I'm telling you about banging my wife, and you want to come get into personal stuff. Like, I liked it when it was like that, when people didn't talk about who they were voting for.
Why it's gotten like this, though?
It's because social media.
No, because people draw other conclusions based on who you are voting for. That is true. That's the whole thing that I've realized this election cycle. If I go out and I say I'm voting for Hillary Clinton, then everybody's going to draw conclusions about who I am as a person. If I say I'm voting for Donald Trump, they're going to draw. If I say I'm voting for your boy Johnson, oh my God, you are a pot smoking,
which is just great.
I've never smoked pot in my life. That's what drives me crazy. And so when I look at athletes, it really used to drive me crazy when actors used to do it. And I'll tell you why, because actors portray people on screen. And when you really know what an actor is, it's hard to watch them on screen act like something else.
I also think it might be this. When I think of the people who do it, like LeBron. LeBron is probably one of the best professional athlete businessmen that have come around in a long time. He's going to probably shorten the span to get to $1 billion than what Jordan did. What Jordan was able to do.
Yeah. Easy.
But I think about this is that some of the things that he wants to implement for the Ohio area, possibly nationally, he may feel that an endorsement to Clinton, and if Clinton's in office, it may be an easier path to be able to do that.
Let me let you in on a secret. There's not a president in the world that's going to not take LeBron's call. I don't care what their name is.
You're right.
LeBron has done his own thing. LeBron, he is one of the athletes that walks the walk. I mean, he has put back tens of millions of dollars for kids, underprivileged kids, to go to school on scholarships, all that kind of stuff. LeBron, to me, is the perfect example of this. LeBron doesn't need to do this. And I think if somebody asks, which, I don't know why they're asking, but if they ask, I think LeBron saying, my family and I know who we're voting for, we've discussed it, I think you kind of know.
Yeah.
I mean, just being real, I think you kind of know.
Yeah.
Right? The bigger shock would have been if LeBron goes, I'm voting for Trump.
But then the thing is that people have made those assumptions all the time. People made those assumptions about me. I mean, I'm a black Republican.
Yeah.
I mean, I tell people, like, I like W. But most black people, you talk about George W. Bush, they think they get Kanye on you. And I get why they do that. And I get that. I don't like. It's not that I think W was the most friendly person to black people. I like W for his quirkiness and all the other stuff. And when it came down to war, and W said we're gonna do something, that gummit W,
he did it.
He like my granddaddy. When I chew my cabbage, I don't chew it twice.
Yeah,
like it means like he means it, and he gonna do it. So a lot of people make assumptions. But if I'm critical of everybody. If you're on my Facebook feed, like when I bash Hillary, everybody comes on and says, "Well, you can't vote for Trump." I'm like, and I tell them all the same. Like, dude, have you not seen who I have literally said that I like? Johnson. When I bash Trump, well, Hillary did it, and I tell people that's not a good argument. A good argument isn't like, okay, Hillary is crooked. Well, that's why you voted for Trump. So is Trump.
Yeah,
like, that's not a. But people just assume. People make a lot of assumptions just off of that, off of anything. Just like the Black Lives Matter thing. Just because I say I wear a Black Lives Matter shirt doesn't mean I don't think that if a white kid gets shot by cops, I'm not upset.
Yeah, that I've come around a little bit to that whole thing. I think the Black Lives Matter. Again, well, let's just be real here. You have those assumptions. I have different assumptions because I'm a guy who drives a truck and dips all the time from Louisiana,
which I have assumptions about sometimes.
Right, and I support Colin Kaepernick, and people are like, huh?
Yeah, again, it's just people like look at stuff and they assume. Yeah,
I think that if people would just call stupid people stupid, the world would be a better place. And instead of trying to force feed yourself something from someone else's opinions, and that's where I have a problem with this. Is it's okay, LeBron, if you want to say whatever you want to say, that's fine. If that's the way the world worked. But here's what happens. Oh man, LeBron's my dog. Now I'm voting for Clinton. And they know that.
But they know that.
They know that.
But they all do that. Yeah, they all try to pick up celebrity endorsements. They try. It's as simple as selling shoes.
And that is one of the, you've talked about un-American. That is so un-American. It's just hopping on a bandwagon because somebody you know is voting for somebody. And I'm not talking about Clinton. I'm not talking about Trump. I'm not talking about Johnson. I'm not talking about any of them. We see it on social media every day of politicians and actors making a statement that if you really dig down is asinine and stupid. They don't know what they're talking about, but yet they've got 5 million followers that are just hopping on board.
Yeah, like Bono, the thing that some of my conservative friends keep sharing when he says he could destroy Black Lives Matter in a matter of 5 minutes by squirting off FBI statistics that if you read them, says the exact same thing about white people. It goes down the list. White people kill white people. Black people kill black people.
It's like that way with everything.
Yeah, it's just people. Here's what it is. Social media has made everybody feel like they have a voice. It's amplified the voice of the athlete to points and levels where it shouldn't be. I really don't care. I don't buy LeBron's. I like LeBron. I respect his hustle as a businessman. But
I think LeBron's a really good dude, by the way.
I really don't care about a lot of things in his life. Just like I like T.I. as an artist. I really don't want to see T.I.'s family on a reality show. Just a lot of things I don't care for. But people, what is American is Americans are stupid. We want to be dumbed down and we want to be told what to think. And if anything, I learned this when I know this has to hit you all the time. Being in media has made me realize how much people won't have an original idea or a concept.
Oh my gosh.
I have heard my original idea or concept spit out in regular situations. Like, wait a minute. I was just thinking that, but I was just on radio. Wait a minute. Did you steal my idea?
Do you know how much, folks, we've heard that since the Jags started this year?
Oh, yeah.
Since we were the only ones that ended up being right about this?
And then the thing is that so many people are afraid to be wrong.
Yep.
And the one thing I'm not afraid, I'll own up to it.
We make fun of ourselves.
Like I made fun of it. I've been wrong. Sometimes I'm wrong all the time. Sometimes I hit it, and when I hit it, but then, like most people on social media, when you're right once, all you do is talk about how right you were. But that's the thing I don't.
Okay,
like.
so let me ask you this: so, is there a scenario where you were a professional athlete for a minute?
Mm-hmm.
Is there scenario where somebody comes and talks to you, you tell them who you're voting for and you endorse someone?
I don't endorse because I've told people who I'm voting for. I'll tell people now. I like Gary. I actually like the fact that when Gary makes a mistake, instead of hiding it or lying and saying he didn't say it, he actually owns up to it. Like, and he makes fun of it. There are things about Trump that I do like. I think.
No, but you see where I'm going with this. What you looking for?
There's no
my man had this look on his face like he was about to explode.
Oh, I guess I could have done that. I was trying to find a dump button.
No, I mean, but
if somebody was like, "Hey, James, who are you voting for?" I'm voting for Gary Johnson. Here are the reasons. Here are the things that I care about the most, and here are the things that he stands for. There are some things that I don't like, but this is the reason why I'm voting for him. And then the first thing people do is attack me for it, and I'm like, "Well, you asked me."
Okay, see, I look at it a different way. Locally, we both endorse somebody, but we know him.
Oh yeah,
right. We won't get into that because people don't care about locally. He didn't win, by the way. We knew the guy.
I knew he would be great.
I don't know any of these people. I would never endorse them because all we're seeing is what's on camera. We don't know what's going on behind closed doors.
That's very true.
And I think that's the part that I get so angry with is these guys and women have turned into entertainers.
Anybody who endorses a national figure, there is something in it for that person.
Exactly.
Which is that's why I said when you're like, why would LeBron do it? There's a reason why. Now, granted, you're right. LeBron can pick up the phone if Trump wins and says, "Yo, Trump, this is Bron. I need X, Y, and Z." And if Trump doesn't do it, it's just stupid of him. Same thing with Jay.
Yeah.
Jay-Z can pick up the phone and call any politician.
It wasn't
and
just
you're
Obama.
Take that. It wasn't just Obama.
Called him probably.
Yeah,
but
that's probably
that's
more than what happened.
Yeah.
So, and we also know, we know Hillary. Hillary probably picked up the phone and called LeBron and said, "Hey, what do you need for your stuff? What do I need to do to get your endorsement?" Because she's pandering for the black vote.
Especially in that state.
Yeah, especially in that state. Now, Trump has started pandering for the black vote, but, you know,
you don't have a problem with it.
I look at it from what LeBron's doing is business.
I got a huge problem with it, man. I just do.
I have what I have a bigger problem with? Is all the money in politics, $1 billion campaigns. That's what I have a problem. If people endorsing stuff, that doesn't bother me as much. But here's something that I would wish. That's the same thing. It's people. Yeah, but no. Like, here's my thing. If you want to be if you want to be president, I wouldn't mind if they did this. All right, so you raise $1 billion. Please don't spend it. That you can only spend $300,000 on advertising. Unrealistic. I know. You say you're going to focus on bringing jobs to the inner city. Okay, you have an allotment of your money that you raise for campaign reform. I need to start seeing you put something in practice before you actually before you get in office. If you ain't done it now, why should I believe you're going to do it once you get in office? Which is kind of my whole argument for all of them. You ain't like me before then. What makes me think you're going to all of a sudden think it's all good?
Well, you and I both know while that'll never happen is because of special interest.
Oh, yeah.
But to your point, that's the exact reason why I don't like these celebrity endorsers. It's the same thing. I don't like it because they probably are getting something. They are getting a seat at the table for if they're big enough for endorsing them. They're getting a phone call. If I put something on Facebook, dude, Trump ain't calling me.
Or they're trying. Like perfect example. Like
well, look what it. Okay,
like Kid Rock. Like Kid Rock. I thought Kid Rock was dead. I didn't know Kid Rock.
Kid Rock's legit.
Kid Rock has been doing all this. Kid Rock used to pander worse than Hillary Clinton for black people. But no, I'm saying he used to be hanging around black people, doing all this stuff, getting on different tours.
He was the first rapping country rock guy.
Then all of a sudden, I don't hear from Kid Rock. Kid Rock has this new resurgence with F. Colin Kaepernick. You don't like the Confederate flag? I'm all Confederate flag. He wasn't saying that when Snoop Dogg was around him.
That's a fair point.
Got to know your audience too.
That's
don't
want
to get mud stomped. But Kid Rock, I'm gonna endorse Trump. You know why? Maybe when Trump comes to Detroit, maybe I can open up. I can get $50,000, $60,000. That's a business move.
Kid Rock don't need the money, dog. I hate to tell you this.
Man, they
do some research on
entertainers want to always entertain.
I'll give you another example. Let's go tit for tat on this because you're talking about somebody endorsing a Republican. I'll go with Michael Moore. And here's where I'm going to go with Michael Moore. Michael Moore would be nobody right now if he hadn't gotten into the political game.
Oh yeah, I mean,
He has played everybody.
yeah,
dude.
I just Michael Moore is off.
And I'm not saying he's right, wrong. He gets on my nerves. I'll be honest. But that dude right there, I mean, where would you know who Michael Moore is right now?
If it wasn't for
his political
documentaries,
statements.
No.
Yeah. And that's my point is people have to realize.
I only know him because he's the fat guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He lost some weight, I think.
He did.
I don't know. But I have no idea, actually. But that's my point with all this stuff, James, is I want my sports to be sports. And I know that that's wrong on me because they're people too. And they have opinions just like everybody else. But I think I kind of live this myself, is I want my sports to be sports. I want my actors to be actors. Man, don't mess my world up. And that's all you're doing. Now, dadgummit, now I know more about you. It doesn't affect me with LeBron. I like LeBron. Politics really doesn't affect me. Who you're voting for does not mean that I dislike you.
The other part is 47%, probably 47 and 42. Almost half and half are going to be happy, are going to be really upset, and too many people put way too much into all of this because it's really only 4 years. I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen in 4 years, but for the most part, like we'll be all right.
Yeah,
And-
I mean, we've survived some crappy presidents.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. I mean, not to get into not to name names, but there's been bad presidents before.
Yeah.
And there's been generations after generations that say this is the biggest election ever. Our country's going down the crapper.
It's just like college football. This is the biggest college football weekend ever.
Game of the century.
Next year. This is the biggest college football weekend ever. I'm like, dude, it's a good game.
I just thought that was interesting because I hate it because I know what it does, and that really is just buying votes.
But then some people are just like, it doesn't matter. Like when Mike Tyson endorsed Trump.
Mike Tyson's a little different, dude.
Like, I don't care. I still like Mike Tyson. Doesn't matter what Mike
I
Tyson
know
does.
Mike Tyson's a little different than
But
LeBron.
like, no, I get it. But people try to come up and put it on my timeline because they know how much I like Mike Tyson. They're like, James, see, Mike Tyson likes Trump. So what? I'm not going to tell Mike that he's stupid, but please don't let this get to him because I don't want to see Mike Tyson one day. Or then sometimes they try to force it. Like Ice Cube, they asked Ice Cube his opinion on the different candidates that were leading at the time. He just said why people are attracted to Trump. He said why, and it was very valid. And people took that as a Trump endorsement. And so going on, I'm here like, see, James, you kind of look like Cube when you ain't have hair. You should you should do. I'm like, nah.
Wasn't
bro.
my wife the first to say that?
Recently I've been getting that for forever.
Okay.
Actually, Trey had a picture where he looked like Doughboy from Boys in the Hood.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I hate what it does
But
because
sometimes
I
I
hate
just
how
want
it
my
takes.
athletes to be athletes.
That's it, man. That's it. Like you and Cam Newton right now.
I'm just gonna give Cam Newton a hard time.
I
just like it. Nah, because there was
loved Cam Newton
there wasn't
a year ago.
Bigger Cam Newton supporter than the African American community,
and he hasn't done anything to that.
The only thing he did was when they gave him the opportunity, he thought he took a step back, and I'm not mad at him for that. You protected the brand of Cam Newton instead of just saying, "Well, man, I don't see racism. There is no racism." I've never encountered racism.
You can't tell that man what he thinks, so James.
In February, he said the only reason people are afraid of me because I'm a big black quarterback. What does that imply?
I mean,
did something? You know what happened between February and now? He got a public whipping. Like he got destroyed in the media, and he took a coward's weight. That's the only thing I'm bashing. But he makes his money. Granted, he wins that argument. People will always come back to you and say that. But then he goes like then when Kaepernick pretty much gave him the freeze, he comes up to try to dap him up, and Cap's like, "Nah, bro, you threw me under the bus."
See, I got a problem with that.
Like Cap was just like, "Nah, you called me out." But then he goes on Twitter, on Instagram, and says, "That's my brother. It's getting tired. This. Just play it how it goes, and see how it goes. Be one way or be the other."
Okay,
I can
but James,
respect. You know who I respect?
Go ahead,
Michael Crabtree.
Okay.
Michael Crabtree, when they asked him about Colin Kaepernick, he says, "Man, I'm just a football player. I ain't MLK." I give it to him. You know what?
That's fine.
I can respect that.
But here's the thing: is Colin Kaepernick is fighting for his right. He's saying, "Hey, I got free speech. I can think whatever I want to think. You shouldn't hate me because of what I think."
I don't hate Cam Newton.
But then at the same time, now Colin Kaepernick's giving Cam the cold shoulder because of what he thinks and the way he acts. It was my biggest worry. If you go back,
it's because they asked him a question about Colin Kaepernick, and he said it directly to us. So Colin Kaepernick has a right to feel slighted by somebody. It wasn't
because he doesn't agree with him.
It wasn't yes. It was pretty much, and that was his thing. They came back and made up toward the end or something like that, whatever. Like, it's like rap beef. It ain't real beef.
But go back and listen to our podcast when we discussed this Colin Kaepernick thing and listen to what my biggest fear was, and it's happening. My biggest fear was that there's going to be people in a certain community, the black community, just call it what it is, who doesn't stand by Colin Kaepernick, and they're going to be ostracized. And they're going to be told, you know what, you're wrong. And it's just asinine to me.
It'd be different if he just said, just like LeBron. LeBron's come out and said, I will stand for the pledge. I understand where he's coming from. If that's it, it's not a problem. Don't lie and say, I don't see it. It's just like Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne makes a comment with Shannon Sharp and those guys saying, I've never encountered racism. Oh, guess what? The beautiful thing about today's society, everything's recorded. A year ago, man, it's just so racist how they've been doing me and how the cops treat me. Don't just say something to cater and pander.
All right, fair enough.
Be for real. If you feel like standing up for the pledge, God bless you.
National anthem.
I mean, the national anthem, do your thing, sing it with all your heart. I haven't been in a situation where I have to really do it. The one time I was at a game, guess what I noticed? Nobody was singing the anthem. It was a whole bunch of white people drinking beers, laughing.
You know what it has done, though? Because, I've been at several games since then. It makes it interesting because now you are kind of looking around.
I just want to see.
I'm looking around like crazy.
I want to see what these super patriots are talking about because anytime, and they just bring it up to,
now see, there you go. The super patriots.
Well, no, only reason I say super patriot is not about not having an opinion. You don't have to like it. But when the first thing that pisses me off, this is consistent, considering my relationship. The minute people throw military into something that ain't got nothing to do with military is when I start getting pissed off because you're not consistent with it. Don't tell me you care about military and then don't do 22 push-ups. I better see you doing 22 push-ups a day for vets that are committing suicide. I better see you donating money to the vet that just had like 3,000 soldiers get infected with HIV, but I don't see that post going viral. Though, it's a lot of things.
I'll tell you this. My father-in-law is a veteran, and he is beside himself with this thing. Beside himself.
I know a lot, and then maybe.
But
I think it's also another generational thing too.
My point, my whole only point with this is that I am respectful of everyone's opinion, regardless of what it is on something like that.
Right.
I really am because, and I said this before. Look, what I will stand for that song because it does mean something to me. I have a long history in our family, and I grew up in a different area of the country. Mm-hmm. That is from the time I was 4 years old. Hey, this is what you do when this song comes on. So I get it. I get it. I completely get it. I hate that it's causing division where it doesn't need to.
I think with the Cam Newton thing, it's just don't pretend like something doesn't exist because you're trying to regain something that you felt you lost. That's it. Just like if you told me, I don't know, I don't really know what something because you're not a regular white person, and then we also don't have your stereotypical person, and none of our listeners are. Heck, we got one guy Dupree who looks like. Just I don't know. He might be the blackest white person I've ever met in my life. So I can't really do that. But it's just like if you told me that you feel discriminated about from Ghost from the Civil War era, and it was about 1,000 people that just kept saying that. You know what? I'm not going to tell you that ghosts don't exist just because I've never seen one. I kind of don't think ghosts exist. But there are a lot of people who've been spooked by it. I also don't think aliens exist. It's a lot of things I don't think. But I'm not going to knock somebody for it. There's a true reality. There's data to back it up. Just, even if you don't like it, just say, okay.
All right.
And keep it moving.
I agree. I agree completely. I think it has opened up a lot of topics and a lot of subjects, and I think it has changed a lot of people's mind. I give full props to Colin Kaepernick. I got people in my family who, when it first happened, were cussing that dude like nobody's business, who now are going, he's got a point. He's got a point. It's just, how long are we going to have to do this?
I guess the last thing, my last point on it, especially with the police brutality part, it was a real conversation that I had with 3 guys in the facility one time. I was like, "Hey guys, did you hear about the guy who got shot? Oh, you been talking about the guy in such and such that had his hands up, got shot 5 times by the police? No, not that one. Oh, you talking about the guy in Georgia who the police officers pushed to here and then they actually found him lynched on a tree? No, not that one. Oh, you're talking about the guy in Carolina who did Charlotte that did this, that. No, not that one. It's when you can keep saying no, not that one. That's not good.
No. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. And that's what I'm saying is I do think it's just I know it's only been a couple months, but now let's see some action. Now let's see. Okay, so you want to sit down or you want to kneel? And I'm not talking about Colin because Colin's giving action.
Yeah,
but you want to kneel at a high school game? All right, what you doing? What you doing? What you doing outside of that?
And that's I think that's where us in the media or people have to put more on the media. Like you see the things that come on Facebook in the headline, which irks me. 5 Latinos have been shot this week and nobody has said anything about it. Well, maybe the Latino community should be upset that 5 unarmed Latinos. Or this white guy got killed by the cops and nobody said, well, if all lives matter, why aren't you just as pissed off about this as everybody else? So what has to happen is when people are going out, like even we'll just use Colin Kaepernick as an example, because people still say things like the white girl from North Dakota that always has an opinion about black people, the Tommy Lahane or whatever.
No.
Which to me, like if you're from North Dakota, you should not be talking about relationships with black people. But whatever. Like, okay, let's go look at what he's doing. Broadcast that. Let's get a snowball effect on that. Because guess what ended up happening? The reverse of what everybody thought would happen. You gave all this negative publicity and a snowball effect occurred. What would happen if you go and just say, like Colin Kaepernick, actually there was the high school in Oakland that laid down for the national anthem. Yeah. He actually went to that school the next week and spoke to those football players about what it was about and how we can make change. Why not make that go viral? Why things like that.
I got you. I got you, man.
The only way we can change it is when people see it happen is to continue to do it.
We're an all-talk society now. It is what it is. That's all we are, is an all-talk society, and nobody wants to hear any opinion that they don't already agree with.
And most people don't really, and I always call, because I'm a bluff caller. Most people don't really feel strongly about the things that they act like they feel strongly about. And I tell them all the time, especially when we get into certain conversations, if you ain't about that life with some of this stuff, don't talk about stuff. Just let it go, because somebody will pull you back. Okay, just like I actually, with the Confederate flag thing, had a couple. Well, lost one friend because I'm a bluff caller. They said like, "Oh man, it's a shame. The America's good. You can't buy a Confederate flag." I said, "Yes, you can buy. You can still buy Confederate flags. You just can't hang it on a government building. I don't want to see it on a government building. I pay taxes. You want to put it on your car? Put it on your house. I don't care. People gonna view you what you want." And they kept doing this. I said, "You all right? You really that upset?"
People that have Florida State flags at their house. I mean,
I was like, well, whatever. No, just as bad. UF. They have the UF Confederate helmets at their house. But anyways, I'm sorry. You want it that bad? I told them I'm gonna get them a Christmas. I'm gonna get it for them for Christmas, and I hand delivered it to them.
You kind of you're kind of big about that. It's not calling bluff. You're an instigator.
Well, yeah, but if you're
a bit of an instigator.
If you're that uptight about something like that, don't just stop. I'll tell you, stop arguing about it.
Okay, but let me tell you this. All right, here you go. White guy that supports Colin Kaepernick.
Right.
All right, Colin. I see what you're doing. I like what you're doing. I also support the police in a big way. Mm-hmm. Okay, big way. Tell this white dude what I need to do. I ain't kneeling, right? I'm not. I'm not doing anything with the national anthem. Give me another option, Colin. Somebody give me an option.
I think you big up the police that are doing the right thing. Like somebody I would love to have on our show is my man in Arkansas. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but he is in the hood, community policing, and ain't just arresting people. He's giving kids gifts that don't have stuff. We need guys like him to be praised. He should have 1 million followers. He should be doing stuff. But we need to be the first ones to call out and ask for logical policing of police. Like something simple. Like if something happens in Jacksonville, We should have an outside independent investigation of it, of people who
Okay,
aren't
but you're
from
still
the
not
area.
telling me what I can do.
You can press the lawmakers. The same people you vote for. Just like when they talk about writing a letter. Like the one thing we know, stereotypical, that white people love to do is write letters.
Oh, they'll
and
write
talk
a
to
letter on
managers.
you real quick.
Write a damn letter.
They'll write a letter.
to your Congress.
I can't tell you the last letter I wrote.
To the local people.
White people love to write letters.
Or whatever. It's just, things like that. But really, if anything, you do it.
Okay, you want
already.
me to tell you what I hope happens?
You do it already. But what I tell a lot of people is stop talking from your Beverly Hills, from your Ponte Vedras, from your again Coral Gables, Boca Ratons.
Mm-hmm.
Go into your Carol cities with no intention of exploiting the community. Go just serve. Go really look at these people as real people, and then when you see somebody get shot like that, you actually start to empathize, and you don't just go based on other stuff.
I'll wrap it up with this because we've been going and we got a show to do.
We do?
Yeah, we actually
It's
have to
Monday?
go. Yeah, we have to go on air, by the way. I mean, my vision for what we're doing here charity-wise, Sports Den, is I would love at some point, as we continue to grow, I'd love to have almost like a hedge fund, if you will, that goes and buys inner city properties and brings business to there. That's what
I actually told somebody. They're like, "Well, will it be protected?" Don't even worry about it. Just buy it and bring something there. I actually told my friend who does he's good at what do you call it? Tech. He's a tech guy. I said, "What if you just went into the hood and you taught black kids how to do tech?" I said, "Now you just giving them an opportunity to make money."
Yeah.
I said, or just like us, like what we're doing with radio. Like somebody asked me a question. How'd you get started in radio? I'm like, somebody kind of just asked me. I was doing stuff here for whatever, and I'm one of two black guys. We're in a city that's 30% African American.
Mm-hmm.
There's I'll throw my
top
man
40
in there.
market.
I'll throw my man in there. Our boy who does your stuff at CW17 too.
Marcel.
There's 5 African American sports personalities in a 35% African American dominated market, and in two of them on the biggest station just got here.
Yeah,
that's a disservice, and I don't know how T-Wig did it. Mine was on accident because me and you just been on. It wasn't an internship process.
Yeah.
It wasn't a go and recruit process. It wasn't any of those different. And I've had people tell me, "You're good. Oh my God, you have. If you wanted to do this, you have a career. Offer me a job." There's no way. I guarantee you, there's 5 or 6 kids at Eugene Butler Middle School, which is an inner city middle school here in Jacksonville, that probably sound like Josh Jackson.
Oh, absolutely.
That could have if you give them the opportunity, they'll show you something.
Well, maybe somebody listens to this tonight and they say, "Hey guys, I can get behind that idea."
Well, let's do it.
I mean, that seriously is my long range goal. Is I love supporting charities, which we're going to make an announcement tonight on air about one that we're doing for single mothers this Christmas. But I would much rather do something in addition to that brings jobs to the inner city, because that's the only way to solve all this stuff. I believe.
Yeah.
That's what I believe.
Opportunity.
The only people that invest in the inner city, you know who they are?
Who?
People who are looking for cheap land and to run people out of there.
Yep. Gentrification is the one thing that's going to kill.
That's the only people. So anyway, not much sports today, but that's just kind of how we do it.
Yeah, just what we felt like talking about.
Yeah, whatever it is. So, well, we going to do another one this week?
Sure, why not?
All right, let's do another one this week. Hey, thanks for listening. Tell everybody about Straight Talk No Chaser if you're in Jacksonville. You already know, 1010XL, 92.5 FM, The Sports Den. We'll talk to you soon.